Yep.
Yup.
Jesus coming back soon.
Jesus coming back soon.
Jesus coming back soon.
Jesus coming back soon.
It's about God power.
It's about God power.
It's about God power.
It's about God power.
Jesus coming back soon.
It's about God power.
Jesus coming back soon.
Jesus coming back soon.
It's about God power. It's about God power. It's about God. It's about God power. It's about God. It's about God power. It's about God. Tune in every day.
Tune in every day. Come to the 5 a.m. prayer.
Yeah.
Be there every day.
Today, we're going to talk about the 10 Commandments. I'm reading this out of the book called The Book of Concord. You could pick you up one from cph.com, I believe. Just to look CPH online. It's Concordian Publishing House, and they got them there. And then you could also go to the App Store and download Evangelical Catholic, and you can find you one there. I think it's only $1.99. It downloads on your phone, and it has all of the resources on there that you need to get along in the world of learning God to the best of your ability. And I believe that you will learn God very well with a Bible and a Book of Concord, and you'll be just fine. All right. The 10 Commandments in plain form, in which the head of the family shall teach them to his household. So Martin Luther was trying to say that whoever's the head of the household should be teaching the children the 10 Commandments. The first, you shall have no other gods. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear God and love and trust in God above all things. The second, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not use his name to curse, swear, practice magic, lie, or deceive, but in every time of need call upon him, pray to him, praise him, and give him thanks. The third, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. What does this mean? We should fear and love God, and so we should not despise his word and the preaching of the same, but deem it holy and gladly hear and learn it. The fourth, honor your father and mother. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not despise our parents, our superiors, nor provoke them to anger, but honor, serve, obey, and esteem them. The fifth, you shall not kill. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not endanger our neighbor's life, nor cause him any harm, but help and befriend him in every necessity of life. The sixth, you shall not commit adultery. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should lead a chaste and pure life in word and deed, each one loving and honoring his wife or her husband. The seventh, you shall not steal. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so should not rob our neighbor or his money or his property, nor bring them into possession by dishonest trade, or by dealing in shoddy wares, but help him to improve and protect his income and property. That's a good one. You don't want to steal nothing from nobody, and then you also don't want to do something that would, dishonor your neighbor. Your friend's falling on hard times, and he wants to sell you his mother's ring, which is priceless, for $100, and you say, "Here, man, give it to me." That's wrong, Or you can give him the $100 and tell him, you keep the ring, boss, and we could talk about that $100 later, But just don't do shady practices, shady deals, especially if you're calling yourself a Christian, or you calling yourself a man of God or a woman of God. You don't want to do shady deals. You don't want to steal. You don't want to do any of those things. The 8th, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not tell lies about our neighbor, nor betray, slander, or defame him, but should apologize for him, speak well of him, and interpret charitably all that he does. The 9th, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not seek by craftiness to gain possessions of our neighbor's inheritance, our home, nor to obtain them under pretext of legal right, but be of service and help to him so that he may keep what is his. A lot of people don't think like that. Your friend's house is going to go into foreclosure, and you're looking at this house like, I'm going to get it for myself. But why not help that man keep his house, or that woman keep her house? Do what you can. Do a drive, or GoFundMe. Go sell some spare clothes that you got in your house, or electronics that you're not using. Help the man or woman keep their house instead of trying to go on the side of them and take it. And the 10th commandment, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant, or his maidservant, or his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. What does this mean? Answer: we should fear and love God, and so we should not abduct, estrange, or entice any way our neighbor's wife, servant, or cattle, but encourage them to remain and discharge their duty to him. So, you could be in a situation where somebody from your neighbor's house, and your neighbor is anybody, your friends, anybody, and they want to come to you because they feel like you got it going on more than they do. And instead of going along with it, you should tell them the reasons why they should stay with their neighbor. And pray that evil lust up off of you, because that's not your woman, that's not your maidservant, that's not your ox. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever is your neighbors, let it be your neighbors, let it stay your neighbors. Whatever is not yours, just don't try to obtain it illegally or in the wrong manner. Always know that God is watching you and people are watching you also. Don't be a distraction to somebody when they want to turn their lives over to God and they see that you are a godly man and then you behave in such ways that's not right. You're turning people away from God, and that's a punishment in itself. Do not distract your neighbors. That should be another commandment. Don't distract your neighbors because they're watching you, and be an ambassador for God. Do the right thing at all costs, no matter what, no matter how you feel, because I know how you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel like, well, wait, I can get that at a low cost, or I could do this and flip it over and make more. But believe me, nothing is gonna come right of it because you didn't do it the right way. Do things the right way. Get your own things from your own sources. The conclusion: what does God declare concerning all these commandments? Answer: He says, I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. What does this mean? Answer: God threatens to punish all who transgress these commandments. We should therefore fear his wrath and not disobey these commandments. On the other hand, he promises grace and every blessing to all who keeps them. We should therefore love him, trust in him, and cheerfully do what he has commanded. All right, y'all. We just got through the 10 commandments from the Book of Concord. And I will be back later or tomorrow we're going to go through a creed. There are, I believe, 3 creeds in here. And we should read those creeds and what it means. Because these creeds go way back to the founding fathers of the church and what they believed. And we should believe what they believed. We shouldn't start believing in fairy tales and imaginary creeds that people have made up over the years that just doesn't make any sense. We need to go back to the people that was furthest that walked with God, with Jesus on the earth. And that person knows this person that knows this person that wrote the creed. You see, that's how far back the creeds go. So we're going to start reading those, and we just need to continue in our studies of the Bible and of the Book of Concord, and just loving God and loving people and serving God through your vocation. And that means that God doesn't need our good works, but our neighbor does. Our neighbor needs our good works. And that's how God shows up. God shows up in your good works for your neighbor. He also shows up in the sacraments and in the word. But we'll talk about that later. I love you all with the love of the Lord. And please come back and join me for another segment of the It's About God podcast. Love you all and peace.